Christmas.
Hi guys, Charlie here from Christmas on Crestline. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about vertical lighting and ampage for your computerized Christmas light show. If this is your first time tuning in, don't forget to subscribe if you want to learn what it takes to run an 80,000 computerized Christmas light show behind the scenes. Vertical lighting, we've already done one video earlier this year about vertical lighting. Those were left in the plain wood, and one advantage of doing that is my neighbors still haven't noticed that I've had Christmas lights hanging for 3 weeks. We want to do something new, something vibrant, kind of catch the eye a little bit on the front of our house this year, and this is one of the things we're doing for that. So all I used is a can of Rust-Oleum ×2 paint on each color. Took 1 can of paint to do all 4 each color, and I have 6 strands of lights on each board. So it's 600 lights. Talked about ampage a second ago, and one important thing to do for your computer light show, and maybe the most important thing, is to pay attention to ampage. Each one of these strands of lights takes 0.06 amps. And I usually take the white stickers off, the white labels off, because it looks tacky in a show, and it just does, in my opinion. And I'll take that off, but for the video I wanted to leave a couple of them on so you can see the tags that I'm talking about. Most of my channels, they max out at 1.8 amps. So it's very important to document and kind of write down how much amps you're using for each channel and for each board, each prop. You got to document all that, otherwise you'll blow fuses or you won't get the desired effects that you want. Like in our tree one year, I just threw up 50,000 lights in my tree thinking, oh, it's going to be awesome, it's going to be bright. And it was bright, but it didn't fade, and it didn't do any of the components that we wanted to do, that we told the computer to make it do, because it just couldn't, it was overloaded. And we did blow fuses, and we learned the hard way that year. But this is our 8th year doing it, so we kind of know what to do now. So while I'm gonna hang these up, show you guys how we do that, and I'll do that right now. Okay, so we have them all hung up. Very easy to do. Each board was cut to 109 inches. 2 things to pay attention to when you hang these boards and when you're making these boards is how much snow do you get. Well, here in Wichita, Kansas, we haven't had a great big snowstorm in a decade plus. So we may get like a 3-inch storm. That's about it, nothing big. So the lights are about 3 inches off the ground on each board. You also have to save 3 inches for the brackets up top. If you're planning on cording the whole board, you're going to have to redo it later, because you're going to have to leave room for the snow and leave room for the bracket. Now if you live in, like, say, New York, you guys get a ton of snow, you may want to have it a foot off the ground or even 2 feet off the ground, depending on what works for your show and your individual needs of your landscaping. Here in Wichita, about 3 inches is all we need. Even under this overhang, I may get some snow drifts, some blown snow up there, and it may get up to 6, but these are decently weatherproofed lights, so I'm not going to have too much of an issue with it. So I'm going to show you guys real quick how I screw them in, which is very, very easy. They are not screwed in at all right now. Just if you measure them correctly to the top of the bracket, and you can see even on a couple of them I even have a couple inches down to the ground, they stay in place. Wind really isn't an issue for these things. So even if you guys are in Florida and Texas, you guys get your monster storms, these will still stay in place. Wind hardly ever affects these things, and we've been using them for 6 years. Our old vertical lights, we've never ever had one even fall down, even when it's not screwed in. But we screw them in nonetheless, just to be sure, so let's do that right now. Okay, and this is how we have them screwed in. I never attach them quite securely. I always want them to have some movement. I said we've never had a problem with wind before, but I want that to be able to move with the wind should we ever have a big storm here. I don't want it taking off parts of my house. But between the ground holding it and it moving in there, it's perfectly secure. Like I said, we've been using them for years and have never had a problem with them coming off, but that's how I have them screwed in. Okay guys, thanks for watching today's episode on how to build vertical lights. 3 quick pieces of advice before I let you go. Number 1, don't forget the male end of your Christmas lights always needs to be at the bottom of really whatever prop you're doing, but especially on the things you're hanging, and especially on these vertical lights. The male end needs to be at the bottom so it can easily attach to your extension cord. As far as paint goes, we use Rust-Oleum. It's both paint and primer, so it works out great for us. It's about $3 a can at pretty much all of our local hardware stores. And lastly, don't forget to prepare for these lights for your local snowfall. Like I said, here in Wichita, we only get about 3 inches of winter coverage as far as snow goes. In New York, New England, you guys are going to get a ton more. So I have my lights hung about 3 inches from the bottom of the boards. So hope you learned something today. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page for all of our still photos, and we'll see you guys again next week. Thank you much from here at Christmas on Crestline. See you guys.